Welcome everyone, Dr. Thor here. Get ready for Gnosis. Well, I want to show you of how to make a sigil of a particular thought form. Huh? Well, yes. So one of the things that has to be understood for those who really know, who have access to higher levels of understanding and understand the way of the universe from, and of course have been schooled in all the secret schools throughout the ages, and on world and off world. And of course, that's me. So the whole idea is that life is not based on your belief in whatever that may be. It has nothing to do with your language, your writing, your anything. What's interesting is on a planet that really has very limited space and we are so basically stuck together, is that everybody has very different cultures and thinks very differently. It doesn't matter where you are. And we're not talking about Asians compared to Americans or Asians compared to Europeans or whatever, but every culture is quite different. And this is something that and I even said in the past of, how similar we are. And we are in a very crude way. We all need food in our bellies. We need houses to live on. We need hot and cold heating or cooling. All of us need this. We all need water, etc. But once we get past these things, it's a big difference. And what kind of house do you need? Well, the Mongols live in tents. A lot of the world lives in a hut. So it's all very, very interesting when we look at all these things of what is what out there. So while we are all the same and we have arms and legs and bottoms and stinky holes, the bottom line is that we are very different culturally and we think very different depending on the brainwashing of society we live in. We have the goofball radicalness of the Americans, a group of nobodies that don't believe in anything, certainly don't help other Americans, but they are fixated, a percentage of these people are very fixated on actual religion, where they have giant churches and give all their monies to people that want to buy big jets, and they think that's okay. So there's a huge percentage of people that do it, and these people have literally billions of dollars. So we all need to understand that in the bigger picture here of what exactly is going on. So people have very different. People have very different tastes. What you eat is dependent on where you live. You live near the ocean, most likely you're going to eat stinky, rotten food. You may even eat live food like the psychotic Japanese. So the whole idea is that all of this is dependent on where you are, what can be raised, what type of foods. If you're South American and you're going to live on potatoes because you live in the Andes because it's the only thing that grows there. So all the things that we have. So it's very different while you won't even see it. I mean, corn to this day is fairly rare in places like Europe. Europe doesn't have corn. So it's not something that you do. Yet America, the United States of America, has a lot of corn and uses corn mostly because of the fact that it is grown there. It came there and it's been part of society, but you're not going to find that in most other places of the world outside of people that have corn producing from the beginning. It's the same thing with potatoes and stuff. So potatoes grow everywhere, and this has been embraced by a lot of people. So you got to understand cultures. What isn't different? So it is a problem, though. So your gobbledygook, some countries have 30, 40 languages in one country, I understand, in Africa. But you go through Europe, and while Europe is relatively small, you travel a few hours, and you're in another country, and they speak a completely different language. Even if it's a language that is similar in some aspects, it's still very different. The fact is that Dutch is very different than Danish. Danish is different than Norwegian, etc. Now, all of these things have a certain common element, but it's not. If you don't speak Danish, you're not going to understand Danish. So if you think you're from Holland, you're not going to understand Danish. It's different. And these are people that live hours from each other. So, and of course, there's the food difference, the thinking difference, the everything else. So, I mean, your entire society is running different depending on how many carbs you eat, how much sugar you have. So people think very different. So we're not alike whatsoever. And trying to get along with people thinking there's a commonality is a big mistake that I'm trying to mend my ways on, as I used to say in the past. You're not common. Doesn't mean you have to go around killing each other. On the other hand, you're not going to get along with them. People should stay in their own yards and take care of themselves and not harass others. But the bottom line is that regardless of what your word for bird is, and this is a different pronunciation in every single society, and it's spelled different, and you're going to write it different. So everything is different, but one thing is the same. The image of it is the same. So everybody knows what a bird looks like, and if you were asked somebody to draw a bird, they would be relatively identical. So one thing that we have to understand is this is how the mind works. So no matter what your language is, no matter what your writing is, no matter what you're doing, the bottom line is that you are going to actually have a similar vision in your head when you actually think of that word. Now, the words you're going to think of is completely different. The pronunciation of it, everything else is going to be completely different. So the whole idea is that that is your personal interpretation of it. But the larger interpretation, the ultimate interpretation, is an image. And all images are very similar. A bird's a bird no matter where you come from on terrestrial Earth. So a bird's going to look like a bird. It could be smaller, bigger, whatever, different colors. But generally, a bird is something with wings. It has very specific types of claws, and they are similar. And they act similar and do similar things. So if you, so your mind doesn't work in your language, your writing, your or anything else. Your mind and your consciousness ultimately converts everything to an image. Gotcha? So what we want to do here is you want to create your own thought form. Now, but you don't want to create a thought form written. Now, we're too centered in the fact of creating a thought form that is written down. Well, let's write it down. And this is what people do, or in the whole way of understanding things, or you're going to say it. You'll write it or say it. Affirmations. Affirmations can be verbal or they can be written. These are all poor ways of doing things. Now, if you want to get your thought form and put it into an energetic reality, you put it into a form. Now, the way you do that, let's say you wanted to build a healing thought form that is very specific to you. Well, this is one of these kind of puzzle type games again. This one, what is this one called? Oh, Guadan. But this is a copy of any of these. You can find these on actual the usual culprits: eBay, Amazon, Etsy. And you can find these different types of, and this, as I said, is a copy by the Chinese. There's a technical name for this, which I can't think of right now, but you can find these on any toy thing. And they're very simple. They're just a plastic little grid holder, and they give you plastic shapes. And what you're supposed to do is put these together and fit them on there. So you're assembling kind of a puzzle, but we're not working from that thought form. We're working from letting yourself go. Now, you just want to, again, you want to use a shifting tool first. You want to be in neutral. You want to not be thinking about other things. What you want to do is concentrate on whatever that may be that you desire. So let's go for, you're not feeling too good. You want to build a thought form physical representation, okay, of healing energy for you, okay? So one of the things you do is, let me see if I can find one of my, oops. I was trying to look for one of my actual Polaroid photographs. Let me pause for a minute. Okay, let's get to, of course, the Polaroid camera film. You can see it says Fujifilm here. You should have one of our cameras. We have different prices. We even have a way of empowering a camera. If you have one, check out our camera. Or do you want to just not be successful? So make up your mind. So you get a Polaroid camera film of yourself. You put it underneath here. We put it right underneath here so that your energy is there as well. Now, you want to use a shifting tool to go into neutral so that you can then assemble this. So what you want to think, and you don't want to concentrate. This isn't about, oh, this should fit like this, Benny. Yeah, Margaret, I love it. It fits together nice like Tetris. No, it doesn't work like that, people. The way it works is that you go into neutral and you concentrate on energy, not words, not thinking, not anything else. You're concentrating on the energy of whatever you want to manifest, the energy of healing. And you just think that the energy of healing for myself personally for this problem I'm having right now. Then you just you put the pieces like this, and you can use multicolors as we have here. These are things that you have also orange ones here. We have the purple ones. I'm going to just use the purple ones. I don't know if they come like this or not. This is probably 2 sets I put together. So what you do is you just kind of even close your eyes. Just think of the wonderful healing energy. Just grab a piece and put it somewhere on the board. Don't think about it. Now, these lock in. You can see the ridges here and the ridges here. So these lock in. Then don't look at the pieces. Just go over here and grab one. Grab the next one. Where do you want to put it? I think I should go here. Next. Same thing over here. Then maybe, well, I think I should use an orange one. So I'm going to go over here with this. I'm going to go with this. Now, they don't have to connect. You're not building a puzzle. You're setting up a healing energy that's unique to your consciousness to be able to handle. So you're just grabbing pieces, putting them wherever. You can put it next to each other. Well, maybe I think I should do this. I think I'll use another orange one. I'm getting the feeling I should go up here. And I feel again I should go up here. Then I'm going to take another piece and put it there. And again, you're not creating shapes or anything else. That turned into a little shape. And so forth. Then you can stop. I feel I've done enough. This now represents, for me, my healing energy. I'm underneath here now. So the healing energy, I've created a symbol. This is what radionic rates are. A radionic number is a number that represents an energy field. There's nothing to the numbers. Well, it's 612, Dr. Thor. No, it's not 612. It's 6 symbol, 1 symbol, 2 symbol. It's not a number in terms of counting something. Now, we use numbers because it's a way to describe everything. It makes it easy for dumbbell scientists who can't think past their bottom. So they always like to do that. And, well, everything can be explained in numbers. Well, no, it's not the numbers. It's what the numbers create. Now, the famous physicist Feynman started working out symbols because he understood it. He understood that if you look at these mathematical equations, particularly physics equations, they're really just created a sigil. But yeah, we add in between and this means that. Yeah, that's right. You know, what do you mean, from Einstein, who couldn't even talk until he was 3 years old or something? So the whole idea, couldn't even get a real job, you know, those geniuses and physicists. So the whole idea is that that's it. So this is what you do. And you can do this for anything. This is for healing for the particular situation that I was concentrating on. And I have my energy underneath here. And this is now going to be sent. It will vibrate into my Polaroid, which is my pure energy is stuck in a Polaroid. Remember that. The photons grab the image, bring it back to the chemicals, and the chemicals hold the energy. You can't do that with digital. No way, buddy. Sometimes 35 millimeter cameras that use actual chemicals to process the film can get some decent results, but digital stuff doesn't. Digital stuff does not carry much of the energy, only a small amount of it. Again, you want to be successful or not. So we have cameras at varied degrees of costs from professional down. And you should be, and of course, we have plates to convert your own. But you should be supporting the organization in general. But this is important technology. If you don't have a Polaroid camera, you're not doing your subtle energy work properly. Just as simple as that. That's the way it goes. So, and you should be using one that increases the energy within there, because you have to have a great connection to the energy to transfer energy to it. If something has a weak energetic signature, well, that means it's very difficult for you to actually be able to handle it properly, to connect to it, to send energy to it. It just makes sense. So something like this, you could even put a radionic machine on top of that. Let me get my little puppy out. So let's say I want to send more energy. Well, this is now going to send that into my main machine here, this beautiful walnut-cased dial machine I built about 25 years ago. But the point is that that's the kind of thing you can put on top of it. So now you've got a energy symbol for your particular problem situation. Of course, what's nice about this is it can be changed. These are relatively inexpensive, but you can get something like this and you can use it time and time again. Once you're finished with this and you've used this for a week or so with the energy going to you, well, what do? Well, you don't have to keep this. You take the pieces off and start something else. Think of another thing. Maybe you want to build a grid for prosperity, or you're looking for a job, or you need money. All of that kind of stuff, you build the symbol yourself, because life is about symbols. Remember, no matter what you call it, it ends up being an image, a symbol, like the bird. It doesn't matter in the hundreds, if not thousands of languages there are on planet Earthy. The bottom line is that the ultimately comes down to the same image. Water is water, no matter what you call it, and no matter what language. When you finally put it there, when you finally get it past the verbiage, past the spelling, it's the image of water, which all races or in all groups agree is water. So hopefully that's clear. These are one of these secrets out there. This is very inexpensive to get out there. These are the secrets of ways of doing things when you understand subtle energy physics. Not everything is expensive. Not everything is difficult. And you've got to allow yourself to be free and flow. Conditioned responses. Following what mommy, daddy, your professors, the idiots that run this world is your biggest mistake. As soon as you break away from that, the sooner you're going to get results. So channel in, bring in what you need from higher consciousness to build something that is specifically for you. One of the problems with radionic rates is they're made for everybody. So here's a rate for whatever it may be. Success, money, whatever it may be. Well, is a general rate for everybody work? Well, it does to a degree, because energy, money energy, is very similar. But you also have two types of rate. You have the gross rate. Yeah, this is good for everybody. Then there is the rate that is good specifically for you, and these work better. When you work on your own stuff, what happens is that you particularly get better results than using something general. And of course, that just makes sense, and that's why all of the Radionic Tech products are all individually empowered to each person, and they adapt themselves to you. So this is why our products work so well. If you get something that's made for everybody, well, you get a certain amount of use from it. But if you've got something that's more in tune to you, that adapts to you, and all the subtle energies that go with that, then you get products that are kick-ass and work really well. So hopefully you found this interesting. One of the many different ways, one of the many tools that you can use to empower yourself and go on to the next levels. And, get away from me study, me meditate, me do this, me follow, goofballs, the dummy llamas, and all the other people out there. If you're following bad people that really have done nothing, then you're going to be reach the same level that they are, otherwise known as losers. Hope you've enjoyed. Until next time.